Car culture to me is having a group of people who share the same passion and like to just get together and share that passion and their views on everything. You know, it's kind of like a big family. I've met so many people through cars and photography, and I've made so many memories. So that's what car community means to me. My dad always worked on cars, and when he was younger, his older brother gave him a 1988 Mustang Fox Body. I basically grew up with that car. I would always go to shows with him and, you know, just hang out with him and just be there in the garage every time he would work on his car. Once I got a little bit older, I started hanging out with like friends who were into cars, and I would just be surrounded by, like, you know, people my own age that were into cars. And I actually got my license a little later than usual. Usually people get their license 16, 17. I didn't get my license till I was almost 20. But after that, I bought a 2002 Mitsubishi Eclipse, you know, the year that no one likes because it's not a DSM. As soon as I bought the car, I put springs on it, I got tints, and then a little after I got a full exhaust and wheels. A friend of mine had a 2015 Ford Taurus SHO, and at the time I had my iPhone 4S. I took a picture of it on the beach. Terrible picture, by the way. I actually posted it on Instagram and had a lot of people request me to take photos, you know, like, oh, how much do you charge? Where are you located? That's such a dope shot. So I decided to go out and buy a camera. I was a YouTube camera person. I would search videos all night long, you know, like how to shoot, what is photography, those kind of things. Eventually, people started to message me to book shoots, and that eventually spreaded me throughout the car community. In particular, I had this one client named Natasha who drove a Jeep SRT who booked me. You know, we would hang out after our shoots, and one day after our second shoot, she introduced me to her boyfriend who owns a shop called Hellbent Race Cars. He would book me for his cars because he would do fabrication work and he would just want pictures of the end result. That in turn got me lots of friends, lots of clients, and basically I spread it out through the older generation of car communities because they are a little bit older than me. When I went to car shows after I got older and started to drive, my first event was a clean culture event. It was in the Poconos. It was the most funnest, best car shows I've ever been to. I went there alone. I drove in the Poconos. You know, I'm panicking because, you know, I've never been that far. I didn't know anyone. I began to walk around while I saw another third-gen Eclipse owner. I actually just went up to a bunch of these kids and told them to stay right there and like block off that parking spot. And I parked there next to the other Eclipse, and that's how I became involved in the Eclipse community. Can I tell you two sad stories, like how it like blew up? That's the second one. I actually drove into a puddle and the car almost got waterlogged. After I fixed the Eclipse, I wanted to buy another car so it would be more reliable. I decided to buy a 2016 Fiesta ST. Why I wanted the car is it would be my first stick car, my first turbo car, and I feel when I bought the car, it was a bigger community and there were more parts to it other than my Eclipse. So I have more options to modify my car. There's a lot of aftermarket parts such as body kits, bigger turbos, some chassis work, things like that. I was also more interested into expanding my photography, which it did help greatly since a lot of my ST friends decided to come forth and shoot with me. The car scene to me is very important. I would probably not be here right now doing what I love if it wasn't for the car scene. The car scene introduced me to not only new friends, it gave me a hobby and gave me other hobbies such as photography. I've met countless people who I would never have met through the car community if it wasn't for the community. I would have never met my boyfriend. He was into cars and I was into photography, and he messaged me one day and we would hang out after our photo shoot, and it just clicked, being that he has a Focus RS while I have a Fiesta ST. So we basically have the same passion. The importance of the car scene is that everyone can join, whether it's tuners, muscleheads, people who would like to just do photography, and people who are just about, you know, just putting wheels and bags on their cars, you know? It's for everyone. Everyone has their own tastes and things like that, but we could all just come together and appreciate everyone for what they like. It's always important to be positive for this community because there's always that person who is your role model who's looking up to you, so it's good to set a good example for the next generation of people. It's better to come together and share all of our knowledge and taste so we can grow from that and appreciate everyone else's build. My name's Alyssa McGrath and I am a car enthusiast. Oh, puppies! Oh my God, puppies. Should I stop because of that? Yes, he's finally leaving. At the end. This is so terrible.